All right, so there's a couple of us in here. We might get a couple others to join as we go, but we'll go ahead and get started. I want to thank everyone who's on the call today. My name is Kaylee. I am the client service coordinator here at CompuWorks. I've talked to many of you through email or on the phone before. Today we'll be hearing from Janice about LinkedIn. And just a few things before we get started. For anyone who has any questions today, please use your Q&A buttons in Zoom to bring up a dialog box. You'll be able to enter your questions there and we'll either answer them through text or live during the presentation. We'll try to get through as many questions as possible during our allotted hour, but we can stay a little bit after if there's additional questions. The group today is a little small, so I don't know if we'll run into problems with timing. We should be able to get to everyone's questions. And then at the end of the webinar today, we will follow up with a feedback survey to get your ideas about future topics that you want to hear from us on, and just how you enjoyed the webinar or what we can do to improve on these. They're all for you. We do this as a benefit to our clients and our guests, and we want to make sure that we're giving you the best topics and webinars we can. Before our presentation begins, I'd like to introduce you to our founding partner, Al Bowman.
Well, welcome everybody. This is becoming quite a habit for us. I think this is maybe our 6th or 7th webinar, and it seems like we're kind of getting into the swing of things. We've had a lot of good turnout. This one's a little bit light, but I'm actually very interested in this topic. I think, I don't know, I've had an odd relationship with LinkedIn over the years. I think for the first, I don't know, bunch of years, I had a LinkedIn account and somehow I had 1,000 connections and I wasn't even sure how I got 1,000 connections and or what I would do with those. But over the past couple of years, I will tell you that for me, LinkedIn has become a little bit more important. And for us at CompuWorks, one of the reasons is that it has become an important vehicle for recruiting. And it is one of our main sources of connecting with potential employees. So I'm very interested to hear what Janice has to say. We are far from LinkedIn experts, but she is. And so I'm really happy to welcome Janice Porter. She is a relationship marketing specialist, and her passion is working with people who want to build their businesses through networking and relationship building. And she does this using offline and online strategies. LinkedIn training is a big part of Janice's business. She believes that anyone in business needs to have a professional LinkedIn profile, and that LinkedIn is a powerful, underutilized online platform for attracting and reaching out to potential new clients, new strategic partners, or new staff. And I would agree with all of that. So welcome, Janice. We're really happy to have you here with us for the first time.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here. And I've done a little bit of homework talking to Alan and Kaylee about their needs, and I hope that we are able to satisfy your questions around LinkedIn as well. And I think that I will, if you're ready, I'll get started with some basics and move into, I do encourage you, by the way, audience, I do encourage you, because I can't see you, that if you have any questions, do put them in the Q&A so that Alan can let me know if we need to answer them immediately or whether I'm going to cover it and we'll answer it a little bit later. So I think I'd just like to share with you a little bit, just very briefly, of why I think LinkedIn is so important to anybody in business. Whether you are an employee or whether you are a business owner or an entrepreneur or an author, speaker, whatever you are, whether you have a website or, more importantly, if you don't have a website, having a presence on LinkedIn is a really good start and a really good necessary add-on to your website, if you have. It is the largest business-to-business platform. I think there's over 760 million people on there now worldwide. And I don't know if you know this, but Google indexes LinkedIn really highly. So when people search for you on Google, they're going to find LinkedIn. If you're on there, they're going to find your LinkedIn link, because that's just the nature of the relationship between Google and LinkedIn. So you may as well have it be your best presence on there, because that's a first impression. And we talk about that a little bit more. You can use LinkedIn to recruit, as Alan said, to bring in more business, to connect with referral partners. You can use it for so many different things, for expanding your business into different areas of the country and so on. By having a full-blown LinkedIn profile, you're going to build your credibility. And by using LinkedIn, going past just having a profile, by using it regularly, you're going to become more visible and even perhaps an authority in your field, if that's part of what you need to do. You're going to grow your network, of course, but there's ways to do it that make the most sense. So what I like to do, I'm going to assume that if you're on here, you either have a LinkedIn profile and need to improve it, or you need to see how to use LinkedIn more effectively. Quite often, I hear that people say, well, yeah, I have a LinkedIn profile, but I don't know what to do with it. Or I'm on LinkedIn, I don't know what to do with it. Or, well, I haven't changed my profile since 2000, and I need to update it. And by the way, I can tell by a few little quick checks whether that needs to happen or not. There's some key pieces that we look at to say, hey, you need to update this. So let's get started. One of the things I'm asked often is, do I need to have a premium platform on LinkedIn, or is the free version of LinkedIn good enough? And I have to say, the short answer is it depends. It depends on what you need to use LinkedIn for. For the majority of people, the free platform is absolutely fine. You can do a lot of things by just having the free platform, but you need to understand the reach that you have on LinkedIn. And I'll think this is a good place to just say that you hear people talk about being directly connected to people, and that's called your first level connections. So if we are directly connected, you will see first beside my name on my LinkedIn profile. So you know that when you go to my profile, we are directly connected. If you see a second, that means we're one step removed. And if you see a third, we're two steps removed, So if you have a free platform, your reach is only to those people on your first, second, or third level. So that can be a detriment if you're looking to recruit people, for example. So if that's the case, you don't want to be as limited as that. You want to be able to expand your searches. And so that's one of the differences: visibility to the first, second, and third level, people only, and unlimited with a premium platform. You again would be limited to who you can send messages to, free messages to, first, second, and third level. Whereas on a premium platform, you would be able to send messages to people you are not connected to for second or third level. It expands that reach as well. Also, you have what's called InMail, which are, those are like paid messages, but they're included, so many of them are included in your premium platform. There's another piece called Who's Viewed Your Profile, which is a stat that you get on your profile. And if you have a free platform, you can only see the last 5 people who have viewed your platform, your profile, in the last 90 days. If you have a premium platform, you can see unlimited who's viewed your profile in the last 90 days. Now, I say that for the majority of people who have a free platform, and by the way, I think it's like 75% of LinkedIn members are on the free platform. If you are on here consistently on a daily or, 3 times a week kind of occurrence, then you're always going to check that stat anyway. So you can always see the last 5 people, and that will work just fine. It's beyond that that may make a difference. And of course, the last thing is, if you're in sales and you want Sales Navigator, that's one of the premium platforms that people seem to use, and the other is Recruiter. So with Sales Navigator, it will allow you to keep track of leads that you've made and conversations that you've had, and it will be able to track going forward the follow-ups that you have. And it is a separate platform. It looks like you're on LinkedIn, but you're not. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. And of course, if you're on the recruiting platform, that will allow you to post jobs that are available in your company and job ads and things like that. So those are the basic differences between free and premium. Are there any questions about that, Alan or Kaylee?
I don't think we've gotten any questions yet coming in on that one. Yep.
Perfect. All right. So let's look at how we're going to get more out of LinkedIn. It all starts with your profile. And I kind of look at 3 buckets for LinkedIn. The first one is your profile. The second one is your messaging strategies and how you communicate on LinkedIn. And the third way is how you show up on LinkedIn in terms of your content. So we've got your best first impression from your profile being fully optimized, your communication on LinkedIn through messaging strategies, and your visibility and credibility through your content. So let's start with the best first impression. And by the way, I'm going to do some live profile looks on my internet. I'm going to go to my profiles and a couple of other people's that have volunteered for me. And so we can see this in action. But just to give you an overview first is, just one second here, is your first impression. Well, it all starts with what I call above the fold. When you come to somebody's LinkedIn profile, the first thing you see is what I call the 4 H's. Okay, so you see your header image, which is your background image behind your headshot. You see your background image, and that's really important that it's on brand, that it's maybe got your website URL on it, maybe it's got your tagline for your website, something that draws people to your profile and to who you are. The second H is your headshot, and your headshot needs to be a professional headshot, head and shoulders, show that we can trust you, inspire us with your smile and being able to see your eyes. That's what I want to see. So a full-on headshot is the best. The third H is your headline, and your headline is the piece directly under your name, which should involve keywords. And because those are used in, they show up in search results, and what I call a positioning statement or a benefit statement of why we would work with you, or who you serve and how you serve people. So your headline, and I'll get into it a little bit more, has 220 characters that you can use. And I'm going to show you some examples so you'll see good, better, best. And the fourth H is what I call the hook, and that is in your about piece or your summary on your profile. And the hook is the first sentence in that about section. We want to make it either tell something that matters to the audience that you're looking for, or shows some curiosity, is thought-provoking, something that will make them want to click the see more button to see the rest of that piece on your profile. It's so important that you give that first impression, a good first impression, above the fold. The rest of the profile then takes place underneath that, and we'll look at that when we look at the samples that we're going to. It's important that you be authentic on LinkedIn. And I say that in terms of how you present yourself on your about section and through the entire platform, but it's also how you present yourself when you reach out to people. Okay, you want to make sure that people understand that you're interested in them. I have to preface by saying I'm all about relationships, and there are people who just think it's fine to just introduce themselves to someone and what we call pitch them. It's not. It's more important that you show an interest in other people, just the same as when you are in face-to-face networking situations or online networking. This is another form, or can be another form, of networking online, by introducing yourself to other people because you think they might be a good referral partner, strategic partner, perhaps a job. They might be interested in your company to work with them, or you might just want to look at them in terms of prospects. Okay, whatever it is, be authentic. Use the platform consistently. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you're going to be on LinkedIn and use LinkedIn to your advantage, make a decision. Will I be here every day for half an hour? Will I be here 10 minutes a day? Will I be here 3 times a week? But whatever you do, be consistent. And when you're there, do the same things every time. Check certain things that you want to check, like your messages, any notifications of new connections, any people reaching out to you to connect with you. And I'm going to show you some ways to see whether it's worth connecting with them if people reach out to you. And also with your content, if you're going to post things, be consistent. You don't have to post every day, but when you post, if it's every Monday that you're going to make a post, make sure that you do it. If you're going to post articles, again, make sure you do it consistently. What is kind of the norm on LinkedIn in terms of posting? I don't think there is one anymore. I think that 3 times a week is great. I think that twice a week is great. It's just, again, are you getting engagement and are you engaging with people on those posts? That's more important than anything else. So be visible, show up, show your authority in your field, because sometimes your posts may want to give people the idea of value. You want to say, well, this is what we do here, but here's how we can help you. And especially, for example, with CompuWorks being outsourced IT support, you want to talk about, for example, ways that having an outsourced IT will help your company. It will free up time for you. It will do this for you. It will do that for you. And so you want to show ways that you can be of value. And you want to build relationships strategically. And what I mean by that is when you do your outreach, there are different ways that you can search to find who you're looking for. And from those advanced strategic searches, you can then reach out to people that would make sense to, instead of just doing a stab in the dark. I hope that makes sense, because this is just the groundwork for now having a look at some profiles to show you exactly what I mean. So I'm going to stop this PowerPoint and go to live feed. So any questions about anything I've said so far?
I haven't seen any come through yet.
Okay. Okay, so now you should be able to see. I have to look sideways to see my screen. You should be able to see my LinkedIn profiles now. Yes? Yes. Okay, I see Kaylee nodding her head. So hang on. I want to go. Oops, not there. I want to go here. There we go. Can you see my profile?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So this is my profile, and I want to start here by just showing you that what I meant by the first impression, of course, is all this, all the way to that blue line. That's the first impression, with perhaps that fourth H I mentioned is a little bit further down. So the first impression is definitely your header, which is this background image, your headshot, and your headline, which is this piece directly under your name. Okay, so let's just review. I'm going to show you mine. I'm going to show you Kaylee's, and I'm going to show you Alan's. And we're going to look at some similarities and some differences and some ways that we can improve as we go forward. So I know that Kaylee's done a little homework on here since I last saw her. And oops. And I want you to see that on my background image, I took my color from my website. I took my benefit statement or my how I help you statement, and I put my website on here so that it's easy for people to see where to go. So I want you to look at Kaylee's and Alan's, because I want you to see two different things right away. Alan. There we go. So what I see here is that both Kaylee's and Alan's have the same header or background image, which is great because I think it matches to your new website, correct? Right.
Yes.
Okay. So, and we've got your company name here, but if you don't mind me saying, I would like to improve that a little bit by saying, making that your URL, CompuWorks.com, or you don't need the www anymore, but you do need, so if that becomes your URL, it just makes it easy for people to, you can't do it as a link, but you can at least have them know that that's your URL. The one other thing I would possibly do is either, and we can talk about this offline, but either divide the background so that the coloring, the color images are on part of it, and maybe your possible benefit statement or positioning statement or question. I thought of a couple that might work. IT tech, or outsourced technology for your business, or what does it say behind us? Healthy technology, your
Smarter business.
Smarter business, healthy
ahead.
technology, smarter business. You might want to put that, but maybe you want to put outsourced, you know, or be the IT partner you've been missing. I saw that on your website too. Something that right away tells them what you do right there in the header. So think about that. Okay. Now, looking at the rest of it, great headshot for Kaylee, and I think Alan as well. You've got professional headshots. We can see your smile. We can see your eyes. And then the third piece, which is the headline. I'm going to go back to mine for a minute and show you again. We have 220 characters here, and you want to use them all. Because you want to just use them all here. So what have I got? I've got 3 keywords: LinkedIn trainer, and I called these keywords egoic labels. They're people words because people search for people on LinkedIn. So I'm looking for a trainer. I'm looking for, I don't know, with IT, they might look for IT specialist. I'm not sure. LinkedIn trainer, relationship marketing specialist, podcast host and guest. And then I have a benefit statement or a positioning statement: increasing your sales by building relationships online and nurturing them offline. So Kaylee, let's look at yours. We've got your position, client services coordinator, customer service, and I think I would put customer service specialist or customer service, oh, I had a word and it's gone. Like, it'll come back to me. And dispatch, and operations are separate. Is that right? Okay. So I also would like to see some kind of divider between these things rather than a comma. And you might put as a benefit statement or a positioning statement, something like all things support for our clients, or something that shows what your role is, you know, with the company that you help. I was thinking that word, customer service. oh, the word hasn't come to me yet. Anyway, it's something, it's a people word, and it'll come back to me. All right. Now I want to tell you, let's see what Alan's is. Okay, so this is very typical that I see either CEO or partner or president. I see your title, but then I just see that's it. Now you got 220 characters here, Alan, for people to be able to see who you are with that company and your passion. Oh, that was it. Customer service. No, it wasn't passion. It was something to do with the passion, Kaylee. Okay, so you could say partner or CEO or whatever your title is here. And you want to say, or principal, partner, or operations, or whichever your specialty is within your company. I think it might be sales, right, Alan? I think you also do presentations and right, and to companies, right?
Yep. Sales and now Webinar Ninja.
There you go. So, and I like that because it's got some personality to it. Okay. So by all means, now you don't need to put CompuWorks here because we have it here. We have it here. We have it down in your experience section. But what would be more important here, again, you might want to put managed IT services ninja, or right, or whatever, something. And you might put again, that benefit statement. And you could also benefit statement about technology strategic partner, your technology strategic partner, or you might put who are the types of companies that you are targeting. Okay, so small bit, I'm just using as an example, small business specialist, or small, take your small business to the next level with our outsourced services. There you go. There's a statement that speaks to what you do. So just ideas like that. Also, something else I wanted to say here. Oh, something about the hiring piece, like I noticed somewhere, I don't know when this happened, but top 5 managed company, you got some kind of an award or something about being one of the top 5 managed companies. Was that within the last couple of years?
Yeah, every year we're part of this MSP 501 group, the top 500 managed service providers in the country.
So that's important. And it might be that little, I think there's like a banner. You could put that very in a corner of this banner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
sure.
You want to show that you're a company that people want to work for. Okay, so that's just another idea. So the other piece I want to talk about here is that both of you have, I think, and I can't see it on mine, you can only see it on your own, so I'm going to show you on here. There's a piece in that's fairly new called Creator Mode, which you can turn on or off. Okay, now I have it turned off. And the reason I have it turned off is because if you are not connected to me, the first thing that you see in this blue button says connect. If you have Creator Mode turned on, the first thing that you see in this blue button is follow. Now, there's a huge difference between attracting people that you want to encourage people to reach out and connect with you, or just have them follow you. Now, if it says, and I might be able to see it here. I don't know if I can. So if you're, I can't see it because I'm following you anyway, because I'm following as well as being a connection. But if you have under 500 or even under 1,000 connections and you want to build new relationships with people, I encourage you to have it on Creator Mode off. If you are mostly adding content and you have already 2,000, 5,000 connections, and you really don't want any more connections. You would rather people follow you, then go ahead and have it that way. But there is a difference, and I want you to know the difference. You'll see on people's profiles, they may have hashtags here. And again, that's creator mode on, and for people who are mostly doing content. Okay, do you have any questions about that? If anything comes up, let me know, because it's a fairly new piece. Okay, how am I doing? Time. Okay, and I want you to be aware of that, because it makes a big difference to that inviting people, you know, in or not, right? Okay, so when we come down here to the about section, I talked about having a hook. Now, I always feel like I'm the plumber with the leaky taps. I never get around to redoing my profile because I'm too busy doing everybody else's. But the one thing that I want you to know here is that one sentence or question that becomes your hook is often the first thing that people see, and the only thing that they see before the see more button. And especially if people are looking at your profiles on their phone, because you see actually less than you do here on a desktop. So for me, it's all about building rock solid relationships and exceeding people's expectations. So if your value is all about people and relationships, then you're my people. If it isn't, then maybe you're not, and that's okay. So that's what I mean by the hook. Now, this section allows you to have 2,600 characters. That's a fair number. You don't have to use them all, but what I think that is important is that you use them wisely. Okay, and how I divide people's about section is into 3 parts. The first part being a little bit about you and the passion you have for what you do or who you are. And the middle part is what I call client facing. Okay, now if you work as an employee, it might not be client facing. It might be more about the accomplishments you've had within this job, or what you bring to the table to help your company and what you're passionate about within your job. So there are kind of different ways to look at it, but certainly people in sales, people in marketing, they need to be speaking to the outside customer. And you can do it. I've got mine into 2 parts so you can see 2 options. And because I have 2 parts to my business. One is my LinkedIn training and the other is my follow-up system. So I've shown here that on the middle part can be, here are the people that can benefit from what I do. So these are the industries I work with or the types of people that I work with. Whereas this is done in a question format. So there's different ways you can do it. But and then the third piece is always a call to action. So even though in your contact info and on your banner, your header, you have your website, you want to make it easy for people who read through your profile to make it easy to contact you. If you have room, I always add what's called a specialties section, which then allows you to use keywords in here. And in these keywords, you don't always have to make it work related. You can add a couple of like outdoor enthusiast or personal development specialist, or, you know, #1 dad or something like that, just to give people a side of you that's a little more personal. So if I look at Kaylee's about section, what I see is something that looks like it's kind of hybrid, but this is very resume-like, okay? And I want you to expand more, and I want it to be in first person and more conversational. So instead of saying driven young professional with Berkshire County roots, skilled in this, passionate about this, and my favorite accomplishment is this. That can come more at the end of the about section in those specialties, or with a couple of one sentence at the end about, away from work, my favorite accomplishment is this. But at the beginning, it might be, my roots are in Berkshire County, and I love the fact that my business is able to be here too, or something like that, so that it speaks to who you are. But then you're going to go into the reasons why you do what you do, or how what you bring to the table in your job. Okay, and I can certainly help you with that. Whereas Alan is a little bit different, because he is a partner in the company. And again, it feels very resume-like. I want it to be more conversational, which is why we do it in first person, and why we break it into 3 parts. Okay, so again, I think it's really important that you're able to put in here the kinds of people you're looking to hire, the kinds of companies you're looking to work with, so that it separates, again, the sheep from the cows, right? So that the people that have the same values, that want to work for you, or that want to work with you as a client, they see that right away. Okay, now the difference, I'm just going to go down a little bit now into the rest of the profile, which is very quick to do because it's personal. Everything and anything that will show you in your best light should be added to your profile. It should be completely filled out as much as possible. So the first thing is your work experience section. And again, where it says partner here, look what I have done in mine. I put, this is my title, just like yours, and I have more than one job or business in here. So I have added some words from my headline: relationship marketing consultant and trainer, client retention specialist, because those are key words. So nobody's going to search in LinkedIn for a partner, but they might search for IT, outsourced IT technology specialist, or business owner, that technology business owner, because those are the things that you want people to see about you. So add those to that as well. And here, this is where you talk about your business, like your website. You come in and you say, at CompuWorks, this is what we do. This is how we can serve you best. And this is who we serve, right? Again, I think you get to 2,600 more characters here. So what you might want to do is do a few bullet points here about, the kind, some of our clients are, and you could list your clients, or you could list some of the types of businesses that you work with in here as well. This is easier here to have it come from your website, copy and paste. Okay. Also, if you have a video, which I think you do, Alan, I saw a video on your website, this would be the place for it. And for Alan, it might be also to put it at the bottom of your about section. You have options where you can put them in 2 different places. And I think you should also have it now. Alan doesn't even have, okay, there's a thing called a featured section that you can add to your profile right here. And you add it by going to add section featured. Okay, that gives you a chance to bring in a featured section. And that's where, once you've put it under your about section, you can then feature it, because it's like pinning it at the top of your Facebook page. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep. So are you saying that maybe that's a place to add a video, Janice?
Yes. Yes. Okay. This is my podcast, which I want people to know about. So I pinned that there. This is my not my most recent post, but it was when I put it up there last week. And this is a video that's on my website. So I've got it here as well.
Got it.
Okay.
So we do have a question here about the about section. So the question is, I'm a sole proprietor, so I have a business and a personal profile. Based on your advice about the about section, is it okay if these two start to look very similar?
No. Short answer is no, and that's a great question. And that also reminded me that I wanted to talk about company page next. I'm a sole proprietor as well. And what was I going to say? As a sole proprietor, the most important reason to have a company page is really to have it as a placeholder and to allow you to look more professional on your personal page, because that logo right here comes from here, which comes from my company page. Okay, so if I click here, that will go to my company page. And you'll see the same flavor here, same sort of color background, but it's it's smaller. And instead of having my picture here, I've got my logo. That's what allows it to show up on my personal page. Now, the thing about here is you want people can only follow you. They can't be your connections. They can follow you here and you can build those followers. You can have something here that's, again, just about your business. I don't post much here, but because nobody really sees it, 77 people. Maybe if I took more time to build those followers, but I do all my business on my personal page here because I'm a sole proprietor. Now, for Alan and Kaylee, I hope that answers that question. If it didn't, make a rebuff in the Q&A and I'll go further into it. So, sorry, no, that's your company. There. Okay, here's your business page. And again, your logo is your company logo. This is perfect. And I would also go back here and put the URL, as I said, or whatever we do here. Now, what's important here for a business like CompuWorks is that you make this kind of a team thing. You want all your employees to be connected to your company page. We have 19 here. I don't know if that's, that's not all of them, I'm sure. So you want to make sure everybody's connected here, and you want to build your following with your customers, your clients, your strategic partners, to build that up, because for you, it's more important. You are able to, and you are posting your job, I've lost my words.
The job postings that we have
Postings here, that'll do. Right. So you want to make sure that that people in your company are also sharing those posts from your company page. Okay. And it kind of build a community around your company page, and where there's, if somebody has an honor or award, you want to, or the employee of the month, or, anything that you do here. And by the way, I would also put your top 5 banner here as well. Okay. Because again, you're building a community here. All right. I hope that answers that question about company pages. Alan, do you have any questions about that?
Nope, I'm taking good notes here and ready to make some changes.
Okay.
So
okay. Well, there's lots we can do, right? Always. Now I'm going to go back to my personal page. And if right now you have somebody who's watching here who has doesn't have a company page, but they want to give themselves one, then they would go to this pencil and they would go to the company name. And as they start typing it, now they have a company page, the logo will show up. So that's why they click it, and it allows it to then go here and here. Okay. It does that automatically. All right, now let's look at, I got to speed it up a little bit here. I want to make sure and see, anytime you've got past things, if they actually have a company page, you'll be able to add it to your profile. And it looks so much better than this. But this is something I think I may take off my website, my page now, because it's pretty old. And so I don't even have to have it. Okay. Your education is your formal education. And, whether it was an IT college or a university or whatever. But if you took specific courses after that, make sure you add the section that talks about licenses and certifications. Then in your accomplishments, there's a thing called courses. You want to add any kind of courses that you have as well. And volunteer experience. This little piece right here, which is really nothing. It's a volunteer thing I do with a basketball in our province, Basketball BC. And somebody that reached out to me that wanted me to be on their podcast, and I didn't know this until they actually got me on the podcast, that they paid attention to that and used it as a rapport building thing because they were into basketball. So it's these extra things that you put on your profile that allow people to find a way in to connect with you, to build rapport, to start a conversation. And that's just a way of giving you an example for that. Skills and endorsements on LinkedIn aren't what they used to be. They used to be a way to give social proof, but it got out of hand. So people started endorsing you and they didn't even know you. So how can they endorse you? That's crazy for me. So it's not so much social proof anymore as a way to list your top 3 keywords or skills. So I suggest you look at those and you decide which 3 words or phrases you want here. And if they're not already in your skills that are listed, you can add them as a new skill. So if I look at Kaylee's, she has customer service, dispatching, IT service delivery, and in that order. So are you happy with that? If you are, that's great. Okay. And Alan, let's see what you've got. Strategic planning, leadership, program management. Okay.
I have no idea where those came from. I literally, I don't recall ever putting those there myself.
Probably in the past came from other people endorsing you, but we want to make sure that we've got the top 3 things here, and they have to do with, IT and leadership and so on. Okay. Let's go back. These are just things to add to your profile. Now, see here, I have accomplishments. So that comes from adding the sections, whatever works for you. If you speak another language, what organizations do you belong to? Are you passionate about a specific cause? Do you have any honors and awards? Do you have any projects you're working on? I'm just going to give you a little key here. I have 2 projects. One of them I put in here is my podcast, because when you have a project, you can put a link in here, and that link where it says see project takes them to my podcast. You can't put links in many places, live links in many places on LinkedIn. This is one of them. Okay. And the other project I have here is a gift for everybody. If they want to use some symbols like I have, but not cutesy little things. I'm not big on cutesy little things like emojis, but I am on more professional things like a triangle or a diamond or a check mark or even a star to use as dividers or pointers in different places. So like here, I've got them in, in my LinkedIn training experience, so that it just gives people some extra little things. So anybody's welcome to go and find that in my projects and copy and paste. We call it R&D, rob and duplicate, whatever feels right. Okay. And then organizations, as I said, show up, and any courses you've taken. And the last thing I want to mention here on your profile is recommendations. Now, this is more important. This is, for most people, really, really valuable social proof. Now, especially for those solopreneurs like me. So what's important is that you have recommendations that people have given you and that they are current, because they come in chronological order with the most recent ones at the top. So you can only see the top 2 unless you click on the button and go further down and further down. Okay. However, so you may have testimonials on your website from your best customers. Now, if those best customers are also first level connections with you on LinkedIn, you might ask them if they would take that same testimonial and put it on LinkedIn. So here's how you do it. You ask people for a recommendation. You look for the person you want to have recommend you. And you have to be first level connected. So I'm going to click Alan. I'm going to click continue. I'm going to say, I know him because he was a client of mine. And my position is it's one of two things on my work experience, my current work experience. In this case, it's LinkedIn trainer. And then I want to make sure that I personalize this. Okay. So I want to say, hi, Alan, thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak to your clients. Would you mind giving me a few kind words around, how that affected your LinkedIn presence or something like that. I'm not going to do it now because I want to be able to think about it. However, if it's to a customer that's given you a testimonial, maybe you copy and paste that into this message and say, hi, Alan, I so appreciate your support. We have this testimonial on our website. Would you mind repurposing it for me here on LinkedIn as well? Okay, now it's a win-win, okay, for this client, because if they do that, what happens is you've given them the wording, so it's easy. And secondly, look what happens. Their name and their headline shows up on your profile and stays there. So they get another audience and you get a recommendation, which shows good social proof. Does that make sense? Any questions about that?
Makes sense to me. We don't have any questions that came in on that topic, Janice.
Okay. And so Alan, this is something I would look at right away. Is this Kaylee's or Alan's? This is Alan's. You have a couple that you've given, but none that you've received. Okay. So we want to work on that. And even there, those were old. Okay. So here's how you get recommendations. Number one, go and recommend somebody without being asked. The law of reciprocity works in magic ways. And secondly, ask people. Okay, you can do it right from your profile, or you can go to their profile and you can, at the top, you can go to the more button. Oops, no, it's not showing. Oh, because I'm on mine. Wait. No, I can't do it from here because I'm on my own. So I can go from here. And I think I can go here. Yeah. Request a recommendation or recommend somebody. So right from that person's profile at the top, you have an option. Okay. Now, I also want to show you one other quick thing that showed up here. Well, I don't know. I could go on and on about the profile, but I want to mention a couple things about content, if I may. Sure. I don't know. I don't know which is better to do, to give you a couple of key things to use here. That might be better actually than getting
we do have a question about posting content.
Okay.
If you want to start with that and then kind of build off from it.
Sure.
So Glenn is asking regarding posting, how much should he write? Is his goal to impress upon someone in the first 10 words, or can he write things that are longer?
So we're talking about actually doing a post.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. So the thing about posting, and by the way, you can see if somebody is active on LinkedIn by looking at whether they even have an activity section. Okay. Sometimes people have activity sections that say nothing, but it's been more than 90 days since this person has posted. So think about that when you're going to actually send a message to someone or try to connect with them. Okay. What's the point if they haven't been on here in 3 months, because they're never going to see it. Okay. But if they have been, then let's look at this. So when you're doing posts on LinkedIn, there's a couple of things. One is you want to make them read the rest of it. So it might be a question or a statement at the beginning that makes them want to read more. So the posts are not so much about you, but about something that would be of interest to your clients or to your strategic partners, or to show the value of what you bring to the table. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so let's look at mine for the first part. Okay, because I don't post a lot. I'm more about messaging for me, but I do post. And let's look at what I did. So this was me being interviewed on somebody's LinkedIn Live. So I wanted to share it and post it for, because. So I said, I give them the win. I had the pleasure of being on a LinkedIn Live interview, and you always use the @ sign and tag them so that they see it. This is what we talked about. And listen and learn. I kind of want to engage people, but it doesn't always work that well when you copy or share somebody else's, because I've only had 17 views and I've had 2 comments. Not great. Okay, so let's look at, this is me posting about my podcast. So I try to give people something to entice them to listen. And here's something that some people, and we talked about this briefly, Alan, before we came online. I do not put the link to my podcast in the post, because that would make people click and go off LinkedIn, and LinkedIn doesn't like that. They want you to stay there. So instead, I say the link to the episode is in the comments below. Enjoy, and let me know by giving a review if you know the drill. So here I do it in a comment down below. That's where I put the link, because that doesn't, the algorithm isn't affected by that. All right. I posted this because, again, I wanted to thank somebody for doing something kind and sending me some brownies. I want to show you here. I posted, I'm doing another one of these sessions on Thursday, and I saw this and I posted it, but I want to show you. Yeah, okay. So this is kind of cool. I didn't realize I had that many posts. It's nearly the most wonderful and busiest time of the year. Will you be ready for it? Now, the question is, will you click? Okay, let's start with this month. November is often known as Gratitude Month, and so on. And I try to give them something to engage with. I sometimes, do you need help? Let me know. That's what I do. This is the other part of my business. So I did a little meme for it, and I got 32 comments and 1,000 views. That's huge. That doesn't happen very often. And so what was it? I don't know. Was it because people liked thinking about the holidays are coming, that I could help them? Now, it is important that you look at the number of views, and that is 33% or more, right? So normally if you get 10% of the number of views of your number of contacts, that's good. So this was really good. But what's more important is the engagement. How many comments do you get? And when you get those comments, are you then using those as a starting point for a conversation? Are you responding to those comments? Are you looking at who it is that's making those comments? Are they first level connections? Are they second level connections? You need to use that as a stepping stone. Okay, so your posts are important. Here's my LinkedIn post I did 3 weeks ago. Here's your LinkedIn content varied. Is it offering opportunity for engagement? Is it people-centric? And then here's my tips, okay? It's really beneficial to keep these 3 questions in mind when creating original content. I'm the first to admit that I don't feel like a great writer, yet I always try to be authentic and real when sharing content on LinkedIn. You can read this on my post, on my LinkedIn profile. Posts that definitely give an opportunity for engagement are book reviews, a top 10 list of your favorite podcasts, a TED Talk that you love. Any of these show a lot about who you are as a person, your likes and dislikes, the people you admire, and can help attract like-minded people. Okay. And then I gave an example by giving a TED talk that I loved, and put the link in the comments below. You don't have to do a meme, just sometimes I do. This got 505 views and 28 comments. Now, I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to show you that sometimes I get nothing. So you have to find what works, and you have to go with the engagement piece. Can you tell me if there's any more questions around that, or comments?
I have a question, Janice. So, let's suppose you get 1,000 views of your post. What does that translate? Like, what is the end goal here? What are you hoping to do? And not necessarily you personally, but somebody that is looking to create that kind of engagement. Is that you're looking for new customers mostly, or what is it?
Well, you're looking for whatever it is you're looking for. Hopefully it's bringing those people, the people that will want to do business with you, the people that could be your strategic partners. It could even, in some cases, be people who want to work for your company. So it's building authority and to around the people that have the same values as you, and it's building new relationships as well as the authority piece. Now, that being said, the number of views, all that means is that LinkedIn has put your posts on that many number of profiles, news feeds. But those news feeds, they're gone in 3 seconds. So does it mean that many people, those 1,000 people, 500 people saw it? No, not necessarily. Right? So you want to make sure that the ones that do comment are the ones that you pay attention to. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of tips here. So let me go back to mine. So this LinkedIn post that I think is very valuable and useful for people. Okay, I'm going to go to my profile, and I'm going to go to my featured section, and I'm going to, there it is, right? I put it on my featured section because I think it has some value, and I wanted to keep it pinned there for people to look at. So that's where you can go to do that. If I want to, add something new here, I would use the plus sign. If I want to reorder what's here, I go here and I can move them up or down so they're left or right of what. No, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to keep them where they are. Okay, so it just updates it. Yeah, I might take this off and put my next post here next time. I keep these here, but I want to change the post. So that's a good way to get more attention to it. And the other thing I wanted to tell you was, I think it was about the same thing. It was about your activity. What was it? I'm trying to think what it was. I can't remember. But you're going to post those job things on your company page, and you might ask people in your company to repost them. But when they do, they should put, like Kaylee did, this great company I work for, put something there, and may even say, like the person that asked the question about content, make sure at the end of your post you have some kind of call to action. Please tell me what your thoughts are on this. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below or whatever. I just think it's important to encourage engagement.
Janice,
All
we
right.
had a question come in when you were talking about linking the podcast or the interview that you were on. You had said that LinkedIn doesn't like you to put the link to it right in the post.
That was my podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I just have a question
Yeah.
in the Q&A dialogue that's asking, can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by LinkedIn doesn't like that? How does that affect your post?
Okay, well, and again, by the way, I'm going to preface this by saying that LinkedIn changes the rules all the time and they don't actually tell us. Okay, we just find out if we're on here all the time. So what that usually means is, and maybe Alan, did you have a blog post there that we talked about or not?
Yep. I did. I think I had a couple recent.
Oh, here is this
posts.
one? Yeah, this is the one we were talking about. Okay, so this is a blog post that Alan put on here on his news feed, right, Alan?
Yes.
Okay, so if I click on it, it's going to take me off LinkedIn to your website to read that article. Now, LinkedIn doesn't like that because you're taking people off LinkedIn. You're taking your viewers away from LinkedIn. So what I suggested that's what I mean by that. Does that make sense?
Well, I think we're looking for some clarification around what that means. Not they don't like it, and why do we care if LinkedIn doesn't like it?
It's the algorithm. It's and okay, what it means, I'm sorry. What it means is if you take people off LinkedIn, they're not likely to show that post to more people. If, for example, you keep them on LinkedIn and you do engage with people, and maybe people share your post, or maybe you move this, as I'm going to just explain, to an article that stays on LinkedIn, they might then show it to more people, put it in more people's news feeds. That's
Okay.
the difference. That's what I mean by LinkedIn likes it or doesn't like it. They have people there looking at what you're doing and so on, right? So this you took from your company page, I think, right? Did you have it on your company page first?
Yes.
All right. I also like to see you do it the other way around as well. Put the post directly from your profile page, okay, as well. Now, what I suggested to Alan is that we take this blog post. I'm going to show you with an old one that I did, and I recreated it into an article on LinkedIn. Now, it's hard to find articles on LinkedIn anymore, but it is a better use of, let's see if I can find it. It's a better use of the post. Okay, so this is an article I posted. I actually rebooted it with new information. And I put this article on LinkedIn. How did I do that? I did it by going my homepage, write article. Okay, that's like a longer post, longer than say 1,400 characters. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go back to that article. And what articles look like is basically it's a header. You can put a picture in, then you can copy and paste your article that you wrote on your blog here. And then at the end of it, you might put some kind of a bio and a call to action. So here we are, looking for more advanced LinkedIn training, ready to build your authority. If you're looking, call me, and here's who I am. So I put that at the end of the article just so they can see. Now, when I'm on that article has a URL of its own. So I take that and I copy it and I put it onto my newsfeed post. I post it, okay? And I can start the post by just putting that in there, and it brings up the article. Okay, but that article, now I can take this away and I can write a beginning for that post. Now, the post guaranteed is only going to go, on the news feed and so many people's news feeds. But the fact that they click on it and it keeps them in LinkedIn is a plus. Okay, and so the post, once it's there, I would also pin it on my featured section while it's current till my next blog post comes. So blog posts go on your CompuWorks page, and maybe a few days later, you do the same thing onto LinkedIn, it gets a different audience. Does that make sense?
Yep. Great. Thanks for clarifying that.
No, you're welcome. I know I'm looking at the time, so you tell me what you want to do now.
Well, I think we're getting pretty close to wrapping up here. I don't
Yeah.
see any more questions, and I don't have any more. So unless you have any closing comments, Janice, I think maybe we're ready to wrap it up.
Okay, so I do have one closing piece that, oh, I don't think I've got my information here, right? No,
Yep, so I'll go through that, Janice, with Fred.
That's
So
fine.
one of the
That's
things that I do want to do just give you guys a little bit of a preview of what's coming up in terms of webinars, and we are doing these every month. All of the upcoming webinars are on our website now, so you don't have to wait for the invitations from us. You can actually go on our website, look at the upcoming webinars page, and register. You can register for a bunch of them in advance if you'd like to. The one that's coming up in December is called, is it Sharing and Collaborating with Office 365 tools. So we thought that would be a good one year end, you know, help with planning and sort of teamwork around planning. And we've got some really, good stuff coming up in the future. You know, take a look at the websites for the winter. We've got some good ones planned out through March, and we may be sprinkling some additional ones in there as well. And then also wanted to just let people know that if you liked what you heard today and you want to get in touch with Janice, the easiest way to do that is just to reach out to us. Our email is training@compuworks.biz. You know, that's the sort of generic address that you can get to us at, and we will put you in touch with Janice and let her work with you directly if that's something that you guys are interested in. And I just wanted to thank you, Janice. It was very useful. I took a bunch of notes. I think we're going to be doing a little sprucing up of the LinkedIn CompuWorks page and my own personal LinkedIn page. So thank you for that, and hope everybody enjoyed it. Thanks for being here, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, Janice.
You're very welcome. Any questions you have or anything you want me to help you with, just let me know, reach out. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.